Okay, well, here's a second reshoot of an unboxing video, but I'm gonna actually save you from the actual unboxing part. This is a Gibson standard 50s faded. It's interesting. It's pretty much brand new. The buyer I bought it from didn't really play it. He says he bought it new, and besides a gash I just made now, it's perfectly brand new. So I thought I'd make a quick unboxing kind of video to show what Gibson is doing with their most recent quality control. As you know, there's tons of videos about quality control and that kind of stuff. I've only had a couple of Gibsons recently from 2012 era. I had not owned a Gibson post 2019 bankruptcy. For those of you who don't know, Gibson now has a new CEO. I think he's the CEO of Levi's. They're doing all kinds of stuff in their factories to increase the quality control. So I thought I'd share my first impressions of this one here. Although this is actually a reshoot. I just opened this thing and made a mess, which I'll show you in a minute. So the case, totally brand new. So this is a Honeyburst, although I gotta be honest, it's pretty plain. I don't see a whole lot of dark to light transition. So it is, I mean, it's there, you know, but yeah, this is a Honeyburst. Not too dark, not too light. Natural on the back. Totally brand new. I guess you can kind of see there is some burst in there, and then that top is underwhelming, but that's kind of what I was going for. I didn't want to have a crazy top. Totally brand new, as the buyer or seller said, except for what I just did 2 minutes ago, which was create a big old gash there and there. When I was weighing it, it actually is so heavy, it broke the scale. It clocks in at 4.75 kilos, or 10.5 pounds, which is heavy. It is a chonker. So what makes it a chonker? Well, so quick backstory. The best Les Paul I ever owned was a 2012 Traditional. A Traditional is apparently a very similar spec to what this is, except that the Traditional has traditional weight relief Swiss cheese holes here in this area, which cuts the weight by a bit, but it's still very heavy. I don't remember the weight of that Les Paul that I had, but it definitely was not 10 pounds. This thing is the heaviest Les Paul I have ever owned because it is completely solid. There is no weight relief, no chambering, absolutely nothing. So this thing clocks in at 10.5 pounds, 4.75 kilos. What else we got going on here? So I'm gonna open this up and find out. These are Burstbucker 1, Burstbucker 2, what they're supposed to be. And then just really quick from my first impressions here, this neck on the 50s, it's supposed to be a thick neck, and it is. It's definitely a 50s neck, but I gotta say my 2012 Traditional, just from memory, I think was just a little bit thicker than this. Close, but I think it was just a bit thicker. And then the other thing that my other Les Paul had was, it wasn't stock, but they were Grover tuners. These are Gibson Deluxe, and I gotta say, these are very smooth. Usually these Clouson styles are kind of janky, but these things, I'm gonna restring it, set it up, but yeah, for shipping it was, you know, no tension. But these are nice. These are the higher ratio, I think. Now here's the fun part. What year is this thing? Because according to the serial, this should be like a 2022 model. Or if you go by the old serial numbers from the mid 2010s, this should be like a 2015 model. Now, it's a standard faded 50s with covered pickups. Should be Burstbucker 1 and Burstbucker 2. So that means that this should be like a 2023 or maybe even a newer model, because I believe up until 2022 and even 2023, they were doing the uncovered black pickups on this model. Got the little indicators there. So quality control. Besides what I did, which is that and that, I don't see any bleeding. I don't see any like human hair in the finish. Yeah, no, I don't really. This looks to be, I will know that. Yeah, I suppose that's not the best. Yeah, okay. Usually you find imperfections around binding. Let's see what else we got around the binding. No, just that one spot. This looks okay. It's a nice binding. Okay, so there's that. Let's check out the neck binding. Anything goofy here? The binding over the, wow, these frets are tiny. Wow. Yeah, these are low frets. Look at that. They're vintage style frets there. And then the nubs also. The nubs over the fret. It's not that pronounced. I remember that being a lot more pronounced on my 2012 traditional. That's not, it's not too bad. I wonder if this is standard fret wire, if this thing, I mean, it can't have been played because this thing is like brand new. There's not even any swirl, nothing. Okay, well, as far as the imperfections, I would say it's just here on that binding. Everything else looks, well, up by the nut actually. Yeah. And the nut, not too bad. Not too bad. Could be worse. Yeah. So I would say overall, I mean, my 2012 traditional was not, I mean, I didn't buy it new, so I can't say what their quality control was like out of the factory, but this thing was pretty good. We'll open it up obviously and find out. We'll look at the pickups and we'll look at the wiring cavity and see how that looks, but pretty good job, Gibson. I don't see anything totally nuts. Nothing weird either with the logos or, no, just that what I did there on the unboxing, which you won't see the true unboxing video. A little bit of clean there. All right, so another thing, this model comes with no pick guard stock, so there's no holes. There's no holes here and here, which is cool. It's a good look. I'm a fan. That's how my old PRS SC245s are, without a pick guard. It looks cooler, some people think. In terms of what you get, the buyer, or the seller, sorry, didn't give me the tool that was actually in the ad. Leather strap, okay. What else we got going on here? So going back to the question about the year, what year is this thing? Okay, uncovered or unmarked truss rod. Key for the case, okay. They give you a pick guard, even though it's not drilled for it. If you want to drill it yourself, you can apparently put a pick guard, but I'm not going to because this thing looks pretty cool without it. Microcloth, okay. Here we go. So here, according to this is a pre-pack checklist from Gibson. Okay. Well, this is 2025 serial 2022. Uncovered pickups, or sorry, covered pickups, as opposed to uncovered pickups. That would indicate 2023, 4. This is from the local distributor. This is a good shop. If you live in Italy, this is a great place to buy new, which, you know, I never buy new, but good place to buy it. So yeah, same cereal. So yeah, what year is this thing? Is it a 2025? 2022? Who knows? Comments, fire away. Tell me what year this thing is. Let's go ahead and open up now. Check out those pickups and the wiring, see how that quality control is. As far as the case goes, it's great. I would even say it from my memory, this, well, no, it's the same, I think. It's my Les Paul traditional case. Okay, let's crack it open and see what's inside. All right, well, as far as the guts go, switch cavity is nothing to wow about, you know. A little bit of, can't really see it, not focusing, but not the best routing at the very bottom, but yeah, just a switch, nothing crazy. The controls are modern wiring. Got some nice caps on there. Gibson, obviously branded pots. There's a plate keeping it all together, so it's not the PC board. It is regular old pots. Pretty good, I guess, wiring job. But yeah, it's not 50s wiring, which I probably will do that, but I don't know. Looks pretty clean, actually. And then I did notice that, go back here, it's not totally flush. There's a pretty big lip right there. And then same for this guy. Pretty big lip, so not perfectly flush. But again, like, you know, who's nitpicking, right? It's like, some people just, they're pretty ridiculous online. But yeah, beautiful grain. Nice finish too. It's supposed to be nitrocellulose, but not glossed over. Allegedly, these things new are like 2,000, I think 200 or just over. They're supposed to be $200 or $300 bucks cheaper than the standard non-faded, which I mean, it's just the difference is gloss and then a pick guard. How can that be 200 bucks? But okay. But yeah, you can see it does shine up eventually over time when you play, even if it's, you know, satin unfinished. It's still gonna gloss up a little bit over time. Whereas, you know, here you can see it's not as shiny because your hands and your oils don't get there. But here, yeah, a little bit. Okay, so that's the back. Let's have a look now at the pickups. Okay, and in terms of humbuckery, yep, and they are the Burst Bucker 1 and 2s dated August 2025. Right, yeah, American style in August. So yeah, 2025 apparently. This guitar could be. Looks, that's a pretty behemoth route for the wire. I don't remember it being that way. And there's also a pretty gigantic slab of maple. No wonder this thing is 10.5 pounds. So yeah, pretty clean. I'll just assume that that's a Burst Bucker 2 in the bridge. So yeah, overall, gotta say, satisfied. The 50s standard, 50s faded, pretty cool. Heavy, but you're gonna get that with a non-chambered body. If you're around my age, around 40, the faded series for you might have been those Flying V's and SGs. I think they were like red and black and maybe even white, can't remember. But they were like a really stripped down, you know, cheap kind of version of a Gibson. That's what faded meant. But now I guess faded means more like an aesthetic, because this is a standard. Everything about it is a Les Paul standard, besides the pick guard and the finish, the buffed gloss finish. So yeah, I guess now I'm gonna let it sit overnight. I'm gonna restring it. I'm gonna top wrap it, because I like how that feels. Put some tens on it. I'll probably oil up and condition that board a little bit. It looks a little bit dry. Actually, it's it's really dry. It's actually might be borderline cracking. I can actually feel with my hands. Yeah. Or at least on that first fret. Yeah, not very smooth. Okay. So yeah, Gibson standard 50s faded. Pretty cool. Pick one up.